Blessed be, friends. It's your favorite witch Amit with readings, Reiki, and wellness at Healing is Limitless. Welcome to the last Witchcraft Wednesday of 2020. Today, we'll be talking about the true spirit of Halloween, what Halloween really means to witches, as well as embracing the dark in our shadow selves and working with our ancestors. First off, let's talk about our favorite day of the year, October 31st. Halloween, All Hallows Eve, Samhain, All Saints Eve. Traditionally, Halloween was celebrated by the Celts, who lived where what is now considered Ireland and the northern UK. It was called Samhain. It marked the end of the harvest season and was considered a transitional time from light to dark, right before winter came, and considered a marker for the new year. It was also a night where the spirits of the departed were able to walk in our world again. The idea of Halloween costumes came from the tradition of dressing up in masks and masquerade so the evil spirits couldn't recognize you. Jack-o'-lanterns were originally carved out of turnips and other harvest produce, and the idea was that they turned away evil and kept the light going. Popular activities were hosting bonfires and divination or fortune-telling. Many tales of fae or fairy folk and the banshee became popular to tell around this time of year. Now, later in the 8th century, the Catholic faith adopted Samhain as the new date for All Saints' Eve, and All Saints' Day held November 1st. Previously, the date was held mid-May. The name then evolved into All Hallows' Eve, eventually becoming Halloween. Now, trick-or-treating stemmed from the tradition of feeding the homeless and the townsfolk when they came to your door, as it was the end of harvest. Also, hosting a feast to commemorate your departed loved ones was also a tradition that eventually turned into what we know now as Halloween parties. Another lesser-known tradition is divination in terms of matchmaking. Maidens would go to bed and have visions of their future husband. They would also toss a nut into a fire, and depending on what happened to the nut, whether it exploded or stayed intact, would determine their future romantic outcome. Traditions like bobbing for apples and others have their roots in these ancient practices. Now, for witches, the time of Halloween is considered a new year if you go by the Celtic pagan calendar. This Halloween is extremely special. It's a full moon, a blue moon, which is the second full moon in a single calendar month, and the moon is in Taurus, which is really just for me. It's a time for witches that follow in this particular tradition to honor the goddess in her transitional form. The earth itself enters a state of slumber with winter coming up, and so does the goddess. It's a great time for everyone, not just witches, to reflect. Working with your shadow self has become popular around this time, as it is a time to look within. Reach into those deep, dark places and do what is necessary to embrace, release, and fully realize those aspects of ourselves. Shadow work isn't evil or dark. It isn't even necessarily witchy. Shadow work is very much putting yourself in check. It's a philosophy coined by Carl Jung. I'm not a psychologist, so I won't go into all the ins and outs, but the idea is that there are parts of our personality that are hidden and show up in unexpected places. Sometimes they're the reasons why we do the things we do. Shadow work is really analyzing those aspects of ourselves to gain a deeper understanding of who we are as individuals, and by extension, who we are as spirits. So, speaking to that, shadow work is incredibly important for any and all witches, as it gives you a deeper understanding of yourself. Now, probably the most significant aspect of Halloween, to me at least, is the ancestor worship. The idea that the departed return to us can be very comforting. Ever have a loved one pass that you wish you could say goodbye to? They're listening, especially now. One of my favorite quotes is, "You are the fairy tale told by your ancestors," by Toba Beta. Especially as a person of color who has had identity issues, a big part of my path is to honor and carry forth the legacy of my ancestors. I'm what they dreamed of, and that's some pretty powerful stuff. Yes, Halloween is a great time to connect with them, but they're with you always. Your flesh was once theirs, your blood was once theirs. The only difference is the footsteps that you take are new and continue where your ancestors left off. In that sense, it's important for me to make them proud. Even if I can't trace them back, they're no less a part of me. Now, ancestor worship is in various forms across various cultures, such as the Mexican Day of the Dead and the Indian Pitru Paksh. Now, how's that for some frightful facts? This time of year is definitely my absolute favorite. And did you guys learn anything new from this video? What are some of your favorite Halloween traditions? Let me know. As always, thank you again for allowing me to be a part of your wellness in whatever way, shape, or form that may be. Love and light. Bye, guys.